Welcome to Burnley for the 2014 Victorian Half Marathon Championship. Sponsored by Advanced Freight Management, now into its 13th year, saw another large field on the start line. For the men, the early lead pack was dominated by Melbourne University runners Mark Kerwin, Martin Mashford and Nicholas Earl. By 4 kilometres, Ballarat's Nathan Hartigan and Glen Huntly's Craig Semple were up the front with a white train. Within the next few kilometres, the lead pack was joined by Doncaster's Kiritaka Tenemoto, Ridian Crowley from Glen Huntly and Sam Crowther of Knox. For Hartigan, it was his first race back after injury.
Looks like the lead pack is thinning now. It's down
approaching 9 kilometres and the leaders were down to 4, Hartigan, Tenemoto, Kerwin and Earl, with the same runners at halfway. Kerwin was looking for the win to draw level with Nick Whiteman for the male champion athlete for XCR'14.
So Earl, Kerwin.
But by 14 kilometres, Hartigan had opened up a significant lead over Tenemoto, Kerwin and Earl. With 5 kilometres to go, Hartigan had been reeled in by Kerwin and Earl, with Earl now taking a slight lead. Only 2 kilometres out from the finish and the lead 3 were almost side by side as they passed the drink station for the last time.
So Deb Nicol coming through, she's in 6th position. So the lead pack is still together, 3 of them. 2 to get and probably the assist.
Kicking down over the final loop, it was Ballarat's Nathan Hartigan who took out the victory.
Just under 69 minutes.
Mark Kerwin had to settle for second, and second for the Male Athlete Championship. Nicholas Earl was third to complete a strong Melbourne Uni showing. Inside the top 8 was recent Com Games marathon runner Liam Adams of Athletics Essendon.
Now, the race was quite an interesting one today. Mark Kerwin had a lot to run for. If he got the win, he was going to be the individual XCR champion, but you didn't want to play it out that way, did you?
I like Mark. If I knew that, I might have actually let him get over the line. I didn't know that was the case. But yeah, I wanted to win, and coming back from the stress fracture and things like that, and in preparation for Melbourne Marathon, so I guess I'll make a call on Monday whether run the full marathon or the half. And yeah, so I had a bit to play for myself, and just hard when you come back from injury, just want the win. So Mark's a good bloke, and it was a great race, and we fought hard, and just lucky enough to win, I guess. So.
You did make a break at one stage, but then they pulled you back in. So what was happening when they got you, and were you thinking it was all over, or did you think you had enough in the tank?
No, I didn't think I had enough in the tank. I thought I'd better put a break in because with the stress fracture, I sat on the couch for about 6 weeks when I probably should have been in the pool. So I thought, went for the break and they got back on. I thought, I just got to hang tough, and just lucky enough to hang tough. And I thought I've got a pretty good kick. So I thought if we can just sort of get as close as I can to the finish and go for it. And yeah, it's just, fell my way today. So pretty happy.
And here are the top 8 results for the men in the Advanced Freight Management Half Marathon. For the women, XCR form runner Sinead Diver of South Melbourne was out front again, with Glen Huntly's Amelia Aslanides. Through to 6 kilometres, and Diver and Aslanides went stride for stride.
So it's Diver and Aslanides. There's not much change there at all. Diver's got about a 1 to 2 metre lead.
By the 9 kilometre mark, Diver had opened a slight lead over Aslanides. Geelong's Kelly O'Kane was tracking in 3rd place. Passing halfway, and Diver now had a clear lead. Aslanides was still second. O'Kane was third, followed by Collingwood's Virginia Maloney and Rebecca Rizal of Box Hill. Over the last half of the race, Diver continued to build on her lead. Aslanides was still second, but O'Kane was closing.
So 5 kilometres to go. It's 16 kilometres there for Diver.
With 2 kilometres to go, O'Kane had passed Aslanides and trying to gain on Diver. However, Diver went on to take the win, a hat-trick of XCR Road victories and the Female Champion Athlete of the Season award.
So Sinead Diver takes the win, takes the comeback child this year.
O'Kane couldn't bridge the gap, but finished strongly to take the silver. Aslanides held on for 3rd place.
79, just a tick over 79 minutes.
Next to finish were Maloney and Rizal.
Time bank, so 52, 53.
Now, given that Melbourne Marathon is your main focus, what was the race strategy going into today?
Today was a bit of a training run and to practice some strategies for Melbourne. But I also had the XCR Championship in the back of my mind, and I wanted to make sure of that today. So I think the race went well today.
Given Amelia normally goes off very fast, were you a bit surprised that she sat on the back of you for the early stages?
Yeah, I was expecting her actually to go out fast, but then she sat with me for, I think it was about till 10k, and Ellie wasn't far behind either.
Yeah, Ellie was certainly coming through. Were you at all concerned in the latter stages?
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on her on the turnarounds because I was aware that she was getting a bit closer. So I was keeping some, I was thinking about possibly going a bit faster towards the end, but I knew at the last turnaround that I had it, so I kept it steady.
And here are the top 8 results for the women in the Advanced Freight Management Half Marathon. For the country athletes, the medalists in the women's race were Kelly O'Kane, Angela Williams and Sharon Pedersen. For the countrymen, it was Nathan Hartigan, Julian Spence and Nick Van Raphorst on the dais. Hope you enjoyed this coverage from Burnley. Stay tuned to Aspect TV for more athletic action.